Alright, so this is how I adjust my carriage for my D100. The carriage was way too tight, the bearings were way too tight, and it was causing some noise and issues. So I had to take it apart and found out that the bearings were too tight. So this is how you tighten them properly. Get it nice and loose. The circle there. Get it on the rail. Get it nice and loose. What I do is I take an Allen key and put them in the smooth holes. And I rotate one into the other. I hold it so that you can jiggle it a little bit and keep jiggling it as you tighten, and you'll notice that it just snugs up nicely. Now it's running nice and smooth with a little resistance. You want a little resistance so that it rides and stays that way. Now putting in your center keys. These will keep your wheel from going anywhere. They'll lock them in place. Now whoever installed it in the factory, they didn't have the center wheel tight, and they had these adjustments. Put them in the right hole. They had these adjustments, the locking nuts actually adjusting the wheel crooked. So the wheel was sitting crooked, so it was creating this really tight, really tight spots on it. So all you do is you just put them in there and you snug them down. Keeps the wheel from moving anywhere. It keeps that disc from rotating to keep the bearing from moving away from the opposite rail of the other two bearings. You just snug them up to a nice even snugness as much as you can, keeping the rail running super tight and nice and smooth. Then it's time to take it back off. Once you have it all locked in, take it back off, and it's time to install the carriage. Carriage goes on here. And you drop your screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will be back once I have those installed. Okay, we're back. Carriage is installed. Just put it in, tighten it up, and always tighten at a cross pattern. And when you come to the cross pattern, always go to the furthest bolt from the one you just finished at. So if it's a rectangle, always go to the opposite. If it's a square, crisscross pattern is fine. Now to take your carriage, I took my dust covers off. I'll put them on. One's already slid on there. Now what you do is you take your carriage, slide it right on. Look at it, nice and easy. Slides right in. Now what you can do is you can bolt in your dust covers. One at this end, one will go on this end, and that keeps your rail oiled and clean. I will be back once it's fully put together. Alright, we're back. Put the dust covers back on, screwed them back in. Rides nice and easy. Tiny bit of tension because of the sliders, the wipers. The wipers are kind of tight. I guess that'll wear in over time maybe, but they're a little tight. The carriage rides like a dream without them. don't know if I want to really keep them on, but it's good to keep the rails from getting dirty, I guess. It's not like it's a CNC machine though, so I might not keep them on. Alright, now back to putting this inside the main box, back inside the printer. We will be right back to do that. Okay, we're back. I'm going to put the rail in the body. First thing you got to do is you have to line up your lead screw in the threaded hole. Reverse thread it first so it drops in place, and then just rotate it down till you're about the height of that spring out of it, so you can put your rail down. Now, where is this thing? Okay. Now to put your little backlash nut in there. Clean that sucker off. It's kind of dirty. Put it down in the spring. Raise the carriage. Align the slot. Push it down. Make sure your threaded rod is all the way down. And then release your finger just enough. And hold it. And thread it in. That way your backlash nut has got tension on it. Now you can continue to rotate it down. And it holds it in place. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take your, I believe these are M4 screws. You're going to have to hold your machine, and like I do have here, something cushiony for the front of the machine to sit on, since it is a touchscreen and you do not want to wreck that. I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but these have got to go underneath in these holes and line up with the body of the rail. As I said before, always cross pattern to make sure that everything tightens up nice and even. And never tighten down any screws until you're all put together nice and even. That way you don't get anything out of alignment. Kind of like what happened with the carriage to begin with. Whoever put it together didn't pay attention and the wheel was loose, and they tightened it down and it ended up being crooked. Now you can just install your screws once you do a cross pattern, because then it'll guarantee they'll line up. Sometimes they don't. It lines up, it just needs to be adjusted just ever so slightly here and there. That's why you never tighten them all up fully. Leave them a little bit loose, give them a little bit of play so you can adjust, give a little shimmy. to adjust it so the screws slide in nice and easy. You don't want anything binding. Please hold, my phone is ringing. Okay, we're back. Okay, now all the screws are in. They just need to be tightened. So you start off cross pattern like I did before. Never over tighten first round, just snug them all up. That way they all seat nice and evenly and everything seats. And then you start your cross pattern tight. Alright, now that's back in. Now as you notice, I took off my little cushions. They were really tight, and since it's not a CNC machine, I really don't think you're going to need it. Alright. Put it back together and let's see how it goes.